Hello everybody, my name is Jose Ramos and I'm going to be your instructor for the 201 InDesign course. Now this course is part of Session's degree and undergraduate certificate programs, and I'm talking of course about Session College for Professional Design. Now although I am going to be your instructor, it's important to note that anything I say or show here does not reflect the views and opinions of Session College. As a matter of fact, this is an independent channel and it's my own. So, there you go. Now, as far as the course goes, I'm going to be throwing at you a lot of tips and tricks, a lot of techniques, and believe me, at one time or another, your head is going to feel like it wants to explode, but I guarantee that that will not happen. I'm going to show you through these series of videos how to do the exercise files. So I'm going to go through them. I'm going to go step by step to how I would approach the exercise file, and then feel free to do your own thing. Of course, you're not going to copy me. You're going to do your own thing. I just want to make sure that you get the technique right. And so we begin with exercise 1. If you take a look at your syllabus, you will notice that in exercise 1, you're going to build a brochure. Now, basically, you're going to do the structure for the brochure, and then you will keep polishing it. And so in exercise 2, you will turn in the final one. So don't worry about finishing it up in this exercise. We only want to focus on the structure, on getting the basics right. So take a look at how I do it, and then go ahead and do it on your own. I hope this helps. So let's begin. Okay, so if I take a look at my exercise 1 instructions, I will see that it has a section on setting up the document, and I want to pay careful consideration to the screenshot right here because it tells me the size of the document. So what I'm going to do in InDesign, I'm going to create a new document by using the Command N, Control N shortcut, and I'm going to follow the instructions. So it's a letter half, it's going to be vertical. It tells me that the number of pages should be 4, so I'm going to pay attention to that. And also the size stays the same. The number of columns, I'm going to say 2, just to be equal to what it shows here. And it also gives me information about the bleed settings. And I'm going to introduce here 9 points, which is equivalent to 0.25 inches for the bleed. That being considered, I'm going to accept the modifications, and here you go. Now, this is the document that I'll be working on. Now, at this juncture, I don't think I need any more of this, so I'm going to make this actually, let's see, make it full screen, like so. Take a look at the Pages panel, and here they are. We got the 4 pages ready to go. Now I want to take a look at the assets. To do that, I'm going to go to my Finder. I'm going to find the files that I'll be placing, and here we have a Word file, and we have a couple of images as well as a vacation logo, which is a vector type image. So at this point, I'm going to use the Place command, which I can find under the File menu. Go for Place, or I can always use a shortcut Control D or Command D on a Mac. So at this point, I think I'm going to bring in the Word file first. Open it up. I'm not going to show the import options at this point, so I'm just going to open it straight out of the box. It's going to tell me that there are some fonts missing. At this point, I could either find the fonts and try to replace them somehow, but I'm not going to do... Well, you know what? Maybe I am. I'll find them. Here it is. I'm going to substitute that one for Minion Pro Bold. And I'm going to say change all, and then this one is going to be replaced with the italic, change all, and this one is going to be replaced with the regular. So if you do that, you won't have any problems, okay? So I'll say done. Here's my file. I can navigate from page to page, and the file is still loaded in the place cursor. And I'm just going to paste it here on the baseboard itself, right to the side. Now at this point, I'm more concerned with how I'm going to lay this out. So I want to make sure that I have it real accessible here on the pasteboard, and I can just copy and paste it as needed. Also, another thing is that I'm going to bring in the other images. And in order to do that, I'm going to use the Place command once again. Find them here. I can actually select all of them, open them up, and then start placing them as I need. At this point, I'm going to cycle through the loaded images by using the up arrow key. And here's the logo, which I will place right here. Notice that it's scaling proportionally, which is great. And then I have that image. Actually, this is the image that I want. And I'm going to just place it right in here. It's probably going to be bigger than the page, but I just want to make sure that I obey the margins that I established for the document itself, and then I can tweak it some more. I'm going to go to pages 2 and 3, and I'm going to paste this image like so, maybe just a little bigger right there. Perfect. And then I can go back to page 1 and start making the needed modifications. At this point, I'm just going to make sure that everything's lining up according to the sketch that I did as far as what the layout should look like. Okay, now if I take a look at this, as a matter of fact, I can even go here to edit and select edit in story editor, at which point it opens a story editor, which I can focus on the text itself. So here we see title vacation. I don't need that text because I already have a logo here, so I'm just going to delete that. And here you can see that this is some instructions that are not going to be printing, so I'm going to delete that. There's a tagline where unforgettable happens, so I will need that. So what I'm going to do at this juncture, I think, is just put these side by side like that. I'm going to close this up, and I'm going to start copying and pasting. So this, I'm going to cut it and just paste it right in here, like so. And then I can go to the pages panel, navigate to page 2 and 3. And here I don't need the tagline. This is deleted. And here's section number 1, plan your next unforgettable trip. So I can actually, let's see here. I can actually just grab this, all right, cut it, and just paste it right in here. So here we can see how everything is just shaping up as I copy and paste items on the page. So here's the main text, which I can cut it and paste it right in here, like that. And here's another section. This is actually like a subtitle, so I'm going to make some adjustments here. I'm going to delete this. Don't need the quotation marks. And I'm just going to copy it like this up to this point, cut it, maybe open up another box, or you know what, maybe not. Maybe all I need to do is just extend this one down, double click on it so I can insert the cursor in there, return a couple of times, and paste. So there we go. I also need to see the hidden characters, which I can easily do by going under type and selecting show hidden characters. And here we see a few things that need to be fixed. Like there was a soft return there that we didn't need. I'm not going to worry about overset text at this point because I will be fixing and polishing this document come exercise 2. So at this point, I just want to concentrate on document structure. Okay, and here we need a box or a frame for the supplementary information. Of course, we don't need this. We only need the text. So I'm going to cut that. Go back to my layout. Open up a box here. Paste it in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place it right over here, paying attention to the guides that I set forth. And this will be a frame that I will need to format so it looks different from the rest. Okay. And then here's a subscribe today text for prompting for some action. There you go. And I'm going to hit the escape key, resize, and I'm just going to put it up here for now. I'll find a place for it a little bit later. And basically, I have just used up all of the text that I had pasted on the pasteboard. So I can just delete that. As a matter of fact, I can close this window. I can go back if I want to page 1. and then I can delete this text box. Now it's important that we don't leave anything that is not needed on the pasteboard. All right, so all I need to do now is deal with this last page, which is the information or the USPS information page. Now, in order to make this easier on my eyes and for myself, I'm going to rotate the spread only. Now, this does not affect how this document is printed. This is only for viewing purposes. So I can right-click on the page thumbnail, go down to, let's see if it's page attributes. Yes, that's correct. Page attributes, rotate spread, and then we need to go for a 90-degree counterclockwise. Perfect. Now we can see the little icon that shows that in fact this is being rotated. All right, now I'm gonna select here the text tool, enter some dummy text. I can just enter any old address, like for example John Doe at 123 Anywhere Street, and I think you get the message. Anywhere City, and then we can just some state, right? Random state and some random zip code here like that. Okay. Now the reason for this placeholder text is just to give the client a view, a taste of what this will look like at the end. And I can pretty much just copy and drag that over. So I'm going to say here Jane, just for the sake of making it different. I'm going to use the smart guides in order to center this puppy on the page, and then I'm going to draw out a square. Hit the D key in order to fill it with none and stroke it with a black 1-point stroke. And this will simulate, of course, the stamp. Now, if you want to get fancy, you can add some stuff, but you have to be very careful because the U.S. Postal Service is very, very particular in making sure that there's nothing in the background where the information goes. So if you want to get just a little fancy, you might be able to get away with maybe just, adding some frame here that you can fill later with color. But I wouldn't get too crazy with design here, all right? We don't want this to come back to us and haunt us later. All right, so once I'm done here, I can right click on the icon. I'm on the pages panel, of course, and I can clear rotation like so, and then I can view the job I did. So here we have page 1, we have pages 2 and 3, and we have page 4. The purpose of this is to get the structure right. I think we have been able to get the structure right. We have the bleed, which we're not using because we don't have any images that bleed off the page, but we do have it there just in case. Everything is being lined up to the margins and the column guides. As a matter of fact, if we go to page 2, you can see that the column is perfectly aligned using the column guides. Now that's super, super important, okay? And here we can see how we're using the margins. So everything is fine. The only exception will be the subscribe today text because I'm not completely sure what I'm going to do with this. At this point, again, I'm just focusing on structure. And then the last page is perfectly compliant with USPS rules. So there you have it, folks. We have a completed basic brochure. Well, there you have it, folks. It's as simple as pie. Now, remember that once you're done, go to the Dropbox area for this exercise and submit your final brochure design, PDFs, and your InDesign file, along with a JPEG file either of a photograph or a scan of your initial design sketch. Attach your files with a brief text commentary explaining your design choices and process, and smash that send button. I mean, smash it, baby. I'm sorry, I had to say it. I mean, this is YouTube, right? If you have a question before sending your completed exercise file, please use the send mail area to contact your instructor. I would say good luck, but you know what? I don't believe in luck. It's all hard work and dedication, baby. So go for it. And if you have any comments, then don't even think about it. Don't write comments below because I'm not going to read them. If you want to get in touch with me, use the send mail area and I'll gladly get back to you ASAP. Well, there you have it, folks. I'm looking forward to seeing your work.